You need to turn on another light. Alright. Well, welcome back to The Walking Dead Season 6 section of my channel. Welcome back to Smirking Gun. Been gone for a little while now. But this is my recap a week late for Season 6, Episode 10, The New World. It was a really good episode, and just to recap for anybody who hasn't seen it, basically Rick and Michonne and Carl are at home, and they're planning on going on a run with Rick's planning on going on a run with Daryl, and they do, and Rick is told by Eugene that they need to find sorghum. It's a thing that they can use for various reasons, and they head out. They talk about the law of averages, or at least Rick does, that this is going to be the day. This is the day, and they get to the sorghum, they find the truck, it's full of stuff, it's awesome, they're like, holy crap, we're so lucky, you know, basically. They go to a gas station, they find this flipped over vending machine. They flip that over because inside is some stuff that was a special request from Denise, the doctor, back in Alexandria. And they meet one of the more interesting characters from the comics, which is Paul, or Jesus. They changed his last name, so I'm not going to use it. It's like Rovia, it's like Rovia or something like that. He proceeds to pretend that he's leaving, tricks them. He's stolen Rick's keys. He takes off with the truck, and then drives away. Back in Alexandria, Maggie tells Enid, where have you been? Come talk to me. I'm not very interested in the Enid character. I never have been. And so this, whatever. Then Michonne sees Spencer walking out into the woods. So she follows him. He doesn't want to tell her why he's out there. Enid and Carl go out into the woods, and they're wandering around being kids. Enid doesn't want to be there. And, cut back to the more interesting part of the story. I'm just going to sum up the less interesting parts of the story. Enid and Carl find a zombie. Enid wants to kill it. Carl won't. She doesn't understand why. He tells her to hit the bricks. Spencer and Michonne, Michonne finds Spencer, and, they're walking around, and what happens is Carl leads the zombie that he didn't want to kill to Spencer and Michonne. Michonne sees him, sees Carl. Carl really, he knows they're there, but he kind of just sneaks off. Spencer didn't see it. And it turns out that the zombie was his mother, the leader of Alexandria. And he had seen her in the, in the episode No Way Out. And he's been out there looking for her. And Carl led her, zombie corpse to Spencer so that he could put her down. Just kind of like how Carl had to put his mother down. So it was kind of like a thing that Carl thought that Spencer needed as soon as he saw it. And he understood why Spencer was out there. So, it's not like an uninteresting part of the story. It's just, I want to get to the more fun part, because that was very cathartic. The fun part is Rick and Daryl on the road chasing after Jesus, which is just a funny sentence to say. So they finally catch up to him. They flank him. He kicks their ass, which in the comic book, Jesus doesn't, need weapons that much. He'll use them, but he doesn't need them because he's so agile and he's a good fighter. He almost kicks Rick's and Daryl's ass, but then they get the upper hand. They tie him up and they drive off. See you later, you prick, is what Daryl says. And they're driving away. They find a barn. All of a sudden they hear something on the roof. It's Jesus. They're like, this guy's on the roof. Rick goes, hold on. which is probably my favorite line of the movie. Just a classic little one-liner. Slams on the brake. Jesus goes flying off the other end of the truck. They get out. They chase him down. Jesus ends up saving Daryl's life really quickly, but that doesn't stop Daryl from whooping his ass and taking him down. Except Jesus accidentally hits the shift on the car, and the truck goes all the way down into a lake and goes completely submerged. So that sucks. Jesus also got hit by the truck, so he's completely out cold. Daryl wants to tie him to a tree, but they bring him back to Alexandria where they have Denise look at him, and then they tie him up and they leave him in the room, I think, where they had Rick tied up at one point, or left at one point. They leave a note. Daryl's left to watch him. Then you get back to Rick's house where Rick and Michonne are talking about their day, and then they end up making out and having sex. Cut to the very end where they're sleeping in bed naked, and they hear the word Rick, wake up. Rick and Michonne jump out of bed, naked, sword and gun in hand, and there's Jesus standing there saying, "We gotta talk." That's the recap. And a quick review is that I would give, previous episode, No Way Out, I can't give it a 10 out of 10. It needs to be more like a 15 out of 15. This is a 10 out of 10. A lot of people would call this a filler episode, and in a way they're right, but they had two very important things happening. You get to meet one of the more interesting characters from the comics that you're going to meet, and it's going to be on the show for a while. In theory, maybe they'll kill him off. You never know what's going to happen on this show. And then the very cathartic death of, or finally, Spencer getting the closure with his mother. That's a pretty simple episode, but the Rick and Daryl stuff was so much fun. So well, funny and timed, and just give them a greater sense of how Rick is coming to everybody else's point of view on things. So I would give this an episode a 10 out of 10. I can't wait for the next episode. Hopefully it's less of a filler episode that people would call, but it was still a really good episode. For filler episodes, The Walking Dead usually does really good. So I'm gonna hopefully, I might even do my review for the newest episode at 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta wait I don't get AMC, so I have to buy it on Amazon. So hopefully I can maybe wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do the review for it and upload it then sometime tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.